All right, so I just confirmed this morning that the C-130 cargo plane that was seized in Burkina Faso is still stuck there. In fact, there is a Burkinabe, a citizen of Burkina Faso, that actually came into my DM and confirmed to me that he actually saw the plane at the airport. See, now that is why there is a lot of trust issues between the citizens and the government. According to some sources, the 11 soldiers have been moved to a prison facility and they have been detained, awaiting trial for terrorism. Now, that has not been substantiated yet, so you can take that with a grain of salt. So what are the options that Nigeria has on the table? Now, the options of Nigeria is limited. For me, I would prefer them to still take on the diplomatic route, which they are already doing. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, they are still pushing through the diplomatic means to see that they can secure the release of the C-130 and the soldiers. So the question is, why is Burkina Faso being stubborn? Why is Burkina Faso being adamant towards this whole thing? You know, me for one, I thought this would have been over by now. Now, the truth is, Burkina Faso doesn't see Nigeria as a friendly state. And reason being, they just escaped from the clutches of France. All of a sudden, Nigeria is embracing France. So you can term it as the friend of my enemy is also my enemy. And we all know that Burkina Faso has the backing of Russia, and Nigeria has the backing of France, and France and Russia are virtually enemies at this point. So yes, behind the scene, there are world powers that are pulling strings. So, but my advice to Burkina Faso is to exercise maximum restraint. In my first video, I told you that this looks like a setup. Now, some people are even saying that the soldiers will be executed. Now, I highly doubt that it's virtually impossible, because when you execute those soldiers, it's an automatic declaration of war. I'm talking about all-out total war, and I will not even be in support of that, because these soldiers are working based on orders. So worst case scenario, they seize the plane, they release the soldiers. Best case scenario, they release the soldiers, they release the plane. But the truth is, you can't deny the fact that Burkina Faso doesn't respect Nigeria anymore. In fact, virtually you can go through my comments and you realize that Nigeria has lost the respect of virtually every African country. And you don't need to ask yourself why. You yourself, you know why. Just take a look at the internal problems that we have. Okay, virtually the politicians playing the life of their citizens. So what do you expect? Now, I pray that this whole incident will be an eye-opener to Nigeria, and it will be an eye-opener to Nigerians, that we need to awaken the spirit of patriotism. There is a lot that needs to be done. We need to rise up and take our spot as a nation that is respected in Africa. So let's see how the story unfolds. Stay safe out there and remain dangerous.
Esther, if Nigeria is the big brother he claims, if Nigeria is the giant of Africa that is claimed, who is anybody in West Africa to detain our soldiers and our plane? Tell me, can you do that, America?
Wait, you know that Burkina Faso is no longer part of ECOWAS.
I am telling you, whether they are
distance themselves.
Hold on, whether they are within West Africa sub-region. The land is still there. They didn't shift into Sahara Desert. They are still within West Africa. And if we are truly the giant of Africa, we should be the landlord of West Africa.
Carissa, let me ask you, does Nigeria not have any diplomatic tie with Burkina Faso? I'm still wondering why they are still being kept behind if they're supposedly friendly nations. I know that Burkina Faso have carved out of the economic community of West African states. It's very much agreed. We get that. But there is a diplomatic relationship with Burkina Faso and Nigeria. Shouldn't that play a role here?
You've forgotten that these people left in anger. You have forgotten. You have forgotten that they are now doing their own thing. You have forgotten that this plane is strayed into their airspace. It was not authorized. You know it, I know it now. There was no something is on to us here. Why must it happen when there was a problem in the Republic of Benin? Why should it happen within the same period, Esther? Ask yourself that question now. When something is obvious, why are you talking about it? If this was as they said that it was traveling to Portugal and all, they would have done the normal check and then allowed them to go. But something happened. That is what, yes, that's something happened. That's why these people are still there.
Why has Burkina Faso not told us what happened?
Why would they
if the Nigerian government is refusing to speak?
They have told the government they will not divulge it. They will not. They will not. They have told them they will not divulge it. That's the truth. There is no other reason. If this was normal flight operation, look, those planes cannot waste 1 hour in Burkina soil. For what reason now? But something is on to us here. That's the truth. Even the Nigerian government know. That's why they are not taking it harsh on them. They won't now. They won't. And like I have advised them, let them be very careful with these people. You say they are small countries. Russia is behind them. Oh. I mean, a Russia that the whole of Europe and America is afraid of. Are you aware? The whole of Europe and America is afraid of Russia. I hope you know that. So Nigeria is like a piece of cake for them. Oh. They will tell them people what to do. And you and I will be running to our villages. So don't just think that there is something behind them. They have collaboration with Russia. That is a fact. Have you read the story of how that Nigerian plane was down? Did you read how they jammed their oh God Almighty. Look, if you don't have it, you don't have it. Forget it.
Nigerian plane.
You don't have it. Don't forget it, Esther.
Are you talking of the Wagner Group plane? Is that what you're referring
to? The plane that they seized. Go and check how they brought it down. Go and check what they did. Their advanced air system, air defense system. You think they are joking, Abi? You think they are joking? Okay, if Nigeria, like I told you, is what is supposed to be, who is Burkina Faso to? Do you know what it means? It's an insult, an affront.
It's actually quite embarrassing.
That is what happened when you have lost your authority.
But the Western media is alleging that something else is at play. That somebody is there's a puppeteer and there's a puppet here, and that's what's causing all of this disrespect.
Did I not tell you?
You said.
Did I not tell you? Did I not tell that they should be careful with it because somebody is behind them? Yes, something. I just told you here. They have a serious collaboration and alliance with Russia. They have. What are you telling me here? They have. So Nigeria should be very careful and tread. After all, you violated their airspace. That one is an offense on its own. But if it is a big country, like yes, you are maybe. Is that why you should detain my boy? Donald Trump will tell them that no people should not stay there till tomorrow. He will tell them, those my men, those my American, American Air Force, you should not stay there till tomorrow.
But parents are very quick because we need to take a short break.
So
if they were on their way to Portugal and they developed a technical fault and they landed somewhere close by, there is a problem with that because they did not inform the Burkina or the Burkina Faso government that they were coming in. All right, but if there is going to be an emergency in landing, just I need to get clarification here, Barrister.
Those clarifications it will never come. It will never come because it does not exist. It does not exist.
Barrister, the reason why you're here is to provide insight into some of these supposed complexities. Supposed. It's not like some people who don't know, but it's my job to ask the questions. Okay, Barrister. So here is the thing. The Nigerian plane developed a technical fault. Instead of crash landing, they decided to land it somewhere close by that they knew that there was an airport and their plane could get serviced. Now, their plane was held, including the soldiers, because they actually crossed the airspace unpermitted. If your plane has some technical issues and you need to land nearby somewhere, don't they communicate while on air with the towers? I'm just trying to say, how is it that they did not tell anybody at Burkina Faso that there was going to be an emergency landing? That's a standard protocol for the Burkina Faso government to say, you guys crossed our airspace illegally without speaking with us. So are we saying they just did that and in the process nobody communicated that we're landing here, please, we have a technical issue, or SOS or something, an alert?
Esther, this thing you are saying now, where does it fall into this matter? We are telling you that these people strayed into their airspace unauthorized. There is no need for all this dialogue. We are going to do. No, they did what they did deliberately, thinking that Burkina Faso will be afraid of them or whatever, being a Nigerian whatever. You understand?
You think they did
it with impunity, not knowing that these guys are already watching their airspace now. That is what Joe. There was no time for this thing you are saying. I want to land. Because there was nothing like that. If it was not, they will give them clearance to land for safety. And I ask you again, why must this thing happen when the Republic of Benin was going on? No, tell me, what a coincidence! It has to be that day that you want to go and repair your so-called plane, Abi. It has to be that day. Esther, look, I don't want to be deceived though at this age. I don't want somebody to deceive me, because the government, they are very good. In fact, they are experts in lying. Very, very good. They can package lie like this. Even Satan will believe them. That's the truth. Ask yourself, why must it be that day? Of all the days, when trouble was going on in Burkina Faso, that is when the Air Force decided to go and repair their plane. Esther, does it add up? God Almighty, there's nothing I've not heard in this country.
What happened is that the diplomatic we have with the ECOWAS, no matter Burkina Faso are not member of the ECOWAS, no problem. They are Sahel, but we are still in Africa. And the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, he always make comment of one Africa. So if it is one Africa, why do you hold a aircraft for how many days? Mr. President, as a captain, that job is the job myself I do. I retire with the senior military officer. So we are all African and we are all citizens. If there is nothing up, you release the aircraft. But I don't blame you. I blame our president, because Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, we are brothers. But because of this sentiment that we have, and I don't believe because France, you send them off, and our president wants to rap with France. Mr. President, stop robbing with France. African people are not respecting your citizen if you go out. They don't respect you. What will France will give you? They have nothing to give you. You are ruling Africans. You are not ruling France. So those France colonies, they have already even disengaged them out. And you now went back and meet them, meeting with them. How can they trust you, Your Excellency? They cannot trust us any longer. And that thing affects us when we have brothers in Niger. It affects us because as retired senior military was the one they continue cautioning you, which is very wrong. We support to move freely. Before you come, all those people, Mali, they went for the coup, but they are still member of ECOWAS. Immediately you come, they go out. Because of the way you talk to them. Address people. You are a president. You are not a chairman or local government chairman. You are a president. President must have diplomatic approach to any other person, Mr. President. Use diplomatic to get those soldiers out. How can they go there and they hold them, the 11 of them? It's wrong. And that Ibrahim Traoré don't have problem for Africa. We are the people who have the problem because the diplomatic is not there. Let us use if you are not fit, please nominate me. Let me go and meet him. They release those people. They are there suffering for nothing. Use diplomatic. Anything, there's nothing like you force. You use diplomatic and you please, you leave France alone. Let us have peace. France is not a colony, Mr. President. You are giving a big problem to the country. All Africa, they are busy in Nigeria because of you, simply because of France. Your friend is different and your relation is different. Then you are causing problem to the citizen. To go out here from the Niger, they will take you go in Mali. Everywhere you go, they will take you as if you are a criminal. It's very wrong. Just because of France. What is a hell with France? Now, very soon we'll have this with the Chad. It's the same thing with Chad. A country that you can just grab their motor and you go come out. The same thing with Niger, but now we have problem. Why? Why, Mr. President? Just for your 2 years and you're expecting more years? Mr. President, this thing, if you continue, it is not possible. It just waive the 2027 because it cannot work.
In the event of outbreak of war between Nigeria and Burkina Faso, this is the question many people are asking. It has gone to that level. I am not an advocate of war. I am never an advocate of war. I am not an advocate for the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, talk less of war, because the amassment and the erection and the production of weapons of mass destruction is prelude to widespread war around the world. So we are not advocates of war, but people are asking this question. People are talking about this standoff, which is supposed to have been resolved by now. But as a result of the continued detention of this cargo plane, Nigerian cargo plane, which the Burkina Faso government claims has violated its airspace, and the detention of 11 soldiers is generating a lot of heat. And people are asking questions, people are saying all sorts of things. What will happen if these two countries decide to go to war as a result of this standoff? I am not an advocate of war. Neither am I an advocate of the production of weapons of mass destruction. We don't advocate for war. We advocate for peace, and we advocate for a peaceful resolution of conflict. I have made a video yesterday and I talk about this. Military options are not the best option. Diplomatic means are always used first. Even if they are exhausted, continuous use we have to continue to use diplomatic means until peace is achieved between these two countries. But in the event where war breaks out between these two countries, because this is what people are asking, but we should know, Africans should know, Nigerians should know, Burkina Faso should know that in the event of outbreak of war between these two countries, because the war is going to be fought in Burkina Faso. The battleground is going to be Burkina Faso because Nigeria has something Burkina Faso need, so they are going to go for it. Burkina Faso, the government and the people of Burkina Faso are supposed to know this. A former senator in Nigeria was suggesting the style Israel used to rescue its people in Uganda in 1976 when they were hijacked. A plane was hijacked and then diverted to Uganda, and the people were kept under captivity until when they were rescued by Israeli forces that came to Uganda. The senator is suggesting using the same style, but one thing I want to remind the senator about is that the Israeli use intelligence before making move to rescue its citizen in Uganda, using Mossad intel capability. Do we have that intel capability in Nigeria, our NIA and the rest? So we don't advocate for this, but people have been calling for that Burkina Faso is going to give Nigeria a good fight. Burkina Faso is going to stand firm. Nigeria is not going to do anything to we don't call for that. So, but in the event, the Burkina Faso people should know this, and Nigeria should know this, that a lot of resources is going to be committed. Nigeria should know that we're going to war in Burkina Faso. We're going to divert resources. We're going to divert manpower. Already we have internal problem, fighting insecurity, fighting insurgency, fighting banditry. We're going to divert all these resources to fight a country. Therefore, diplomatic means remains the only option. And the Burkina Faso people should know that when this war is going to be fought, it's going to be fought on the land of Burkina Faso. The Burkina Faso is going to be the battleground because Nigeria is coming to get something it needs in that country. They should know this. So when finally, if war is going to break down between these two countries, we should know that first line of attack is going to be, we have to look at the air power of Nigeria and the air defense power of Burkina Faso. The air force power of Nigeria, we know that Nigeria has JF-17 Thunder, which it procured from Pakistan. It's a very powerful jet fighter that is jointly produced by China and Pakistan. Now, currently, Nigeria has 3 in stock. It is one of the 3 that was used in Benin Republic to abort the coup in Benin Republic. They call it the Thunder, JF-17 Thunder. We have about 3. We also have Chendo 7 procured from China. We also have the Alpha Jet and the Super Tucano. Nigeria has about 175 fighter aircraft in its arsenal, and it has about 18,000 active air personnel. So these are what Nigeria is going to commit to rescue those people. We also have airboats. One of the airboats is the one that is confiscated in Burkina Faso currently, that is generating this standoff, that is people are calling for war between these countries. We have the airboats and the what have you. So Nigeria is going to commit all these resources. In the first place, we should rule out missile strike against. None of the countries has missile capabilities to strike one another. Burkina Faso doesn't have the missile capability to strike at Nigeria from Burkina Faso. Nigeria doesn't have the missile capability to strike at Burkina Faso from Nigeria. The distance between Nigeria and Burkina Faso is about 1,500 kilometers. The highest missile Nigeria has, the range is up to 1,000, which is cruise missile, which is recently produced, and it is named EPX-10 cruise missile. We have the drones, short-range drones that can be used to constitute our air power. And so what kind of resistance are we going to get from Burkina Faso? Burkina Faso currently is having what they call the Barakta air defense. The Barakta air defense is made up of short-range missile, which is going to use to counter the incursion of our military might or our military arsenal into Burkina Faso. The Barakta air defense Burkina Faso procured from Turkey. So that's to show you. And then it has anti-aircraft. The outdated anti-aircraft procured from Russia. That is, they have what they call the PZU-2. ZPU-2 procured from Russia. It's an old anti-aircraft. This powerful machine gun that are used to bring down planes. That is what they call ZPU-2. We have the TCM procured from United States of America. These are outdated. So the Bayraktar air defense is the latest air defense that Burkina Faso is using, which it procured from Turkey, and then it's made of only drones. So you see what I'm talking about. Even Burkina Faso doesn't have even S-100, talk less of S-200 or 300. These are the latest air defense from Russia. They don't even have the S-100. And people are talking about Russia is coming to defend Burkina Faso. You don't know these superpowers. These superpowers, it's only about their interest. There's a neo-colonial scrambling and petition of Africa. That's one thing Africans have to understand. These superpowers are only coming for their own interest. They will give you weapons, but they will not give you high-grade weapons. They will give you dated weapons. Even the Super Tucano that Burkina Faso is having and the Nigeria is having, they are all outdated. They are outdated. So people have to understand this. And people are talking. So this is it. So you judge by yourself. With this air force power from Nigeria and the air defense from Burkina Faso, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? The Bayraktar Turkey-made air defense of Turkey-made, not Russia-made. Even Burkina Faso doesn't have even S-100. It's only Egypt and Algeria that have even S-200. Even Iran, you see how close Iran is to Russia. Yet Iran is having only S-300. It's only India that has S-400. India doesn't even have S-500. It's only Russia that has that S-500. But recently there's a deal, and Russia is going to sell that S-500 to India only. India is the only country that Russia will sell because of that strategic partnership for a long time. Russia is having strategic partnership with so many countries. So people are calling that they are going to support. So Burkina, they are going to supply weapons to Burkina Faso. They are going to supply weapons to Nigeria. They are going to supply weapons to all the countries that have. This is what the superpowers do. They sell weapons to you in times of war. They don't even give you free. They sell it to you. They sell outdated ones too. They don't even give you the high-tech ones. This is what is happening. So you have to know that it's going to be war between when these two countries go to war. EES will come to the support of Burkina Faso. ECOMA will come to the support of Nigeria, and it's going to be all our world in Africa. Africans will be killing themselves. Africans will be miming themselves, destroying themselves, and while the superpowers watch and supply us with weapons to eliminate ourselves, to destroy ourselves. This is what's going to happen. That's what you have to understand. It's not good for these two countries to go to war. You have to make the judgment by yourself. What do you think will happen with the air power from Nigeria and the air defense? What do you think is going to happen? Burkina Faso is going to be the battleground. They are going to destroy that country. And then, don't forget, Nigeria has partnership with China, Norenco and Decon, a strategic partnership with China. Do you think China is going to watch just like that? Nigeria is spending about $22 billion every year to China in the procurement of weapons and training. There are about 7,000 Nigerian soldiers that are training in China and what have you. So what do you think? The superpowers, this is what is happening. There's a neo-colonial scrambling petition. Every superpower is carving a territory for itself to exert its regional power, to exert its...
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. The ongoing tension between Nigeria and Burkina Faso needs to be handled properly. If not, things might go out of hand very soon. And the ugly truth in this whole thing is this: if it does go out of hand, the two countries are going to suffer so many casualties, and we don't pray for that. Nobody is praying for war, and that is the reason why I'm still insisting and still advising President Tinubu not to exhaust the diplomatic route, because that's the best option. That's their best bet at the moment, because you know, of course, they have a security pact with Russia, and no country wants to go into war with Russia at the moment. Even the almighty US is avoiding it. And to think that US, because of Nigeria going into war with Russia, is what I don't think will happen. So, of course, Nigeria needs to settle this using diplomacy. Burkina Faso, of course, have every right to prove stubborn, because there are allegations that the military aircraft came in to spy so many things in Burkina Faso. I don't know how true this is. We should be taken with a pinch of salt, because we can't substantiate this claim. So of course, if this is true, going by this allegation, if this is true, Burkina Faso has every right to a kind of seize this plane and arrest the soldiers. However, in the spirit of brotherhood and in the spirit of one African, I believe they shouldn't have been held to this point again, and they should have released them unconditionally back to Nigeria. However, they are still kept there. So they should know that Africans will continue to be brothers forever, and they should not allow an external party to come in and turn their area into a war zone. Instead of resolving this amicably, I think so many interests are coming in already, and the Ibrahim Traore is adamant on holding these soldiers and holding these aircraft, and is not even giving any room, or is not giving the diplomacy route an easy landing at all. They should try and de-escalate anything that will cause war between these two countries, and anything that will make this whole issue metamorphose into a much dangerous issue. The thing is this: if this whole issue escalates, Burkina Faso is still going to remain in Africa. Nigeria is still going to remain in Africa. And if this tension continues and there's friction between these two countries because of this, it's going to have an everlasting effect on the both countries. So it's better we avoid issues like this and settle as brothers, instead of allowing a third party to come and disorganize everything we've built together. This is a time for us to come together as one, instead of planting the seed of division or allowing people to come and divide us. It's a time for us to reason together, come together as one Africans, and do things together, and reject anything that will bring war between two African countries. This is my opinion. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.